Good evening, televiewers. Good evening, fellow Ambazonians and sympathizers of the Ambazonia Revolution. Once again, you are welcome to another edition of County Roots, your favorite and educative program. I would start by apologizing for the late start. We are starting actually exactly 1 hour after the programmed time due to some difficulties, technical hitches that we had, but thank God we are here. And I really do appreciate you for your patience. Please, thank you for joining. Thank you for tuning in. Keep on sharing, share until you share to everybody back at home, share to everybody anywhere in sub-Saharan Africa so they can watch us live on TV. And stay tuned. Be ready to meet my two great panelists I've got tonight. But before I finally introduce them, I would do my traditional thing. I'm going to sing the anthem in honor of our fallen heroes, in honor of our heroes who are in the dungeons of La République du Cameroon, in honor of our IDPs, our refugees in neighboring Nigeria and even scattered all over the world, in honor of fellow comrades in the diaspora for putting up such strong resistance, doing all what they are doing. I just want to thank you before I go ahead to sing the anthem. You watching me wherever you are in the world and you have a stake in this revolution, I sing this anthem to honor you. So you are going to respect the anthem and by placing your right hand on the left breast while I sing. I'm not feeling so well. My voice may not be nice, but it remains the respect I've got for you. So I'm going to sing the anthem. Hail, hail, hail this land of glory. We the Ambazonians pledge our loyalty. Praise the Son, our Savior, who granted us a freedom. Allegiance to the hero who bought his land with their blood. Glory to glory, we rise and never to fall. Here in a nation flowing with milk and honey, glory, glory, glory to the Father for making you a nation, a joy forevermore. Ambazonia, land of freedom, you shall live in plenty, meeting our needs. And your children shall be like the stars above. The Most High God be the watchman of this nation. Ambazonia, land of freedom, you shall live in plenty, meeting our needs. And your children shall be like the stars above. The Most High God be the watchman of this nation. Thank you, dear comrade, for singing with me. Once again, thank you, fellow Ambazonians and dear televiewers, for listening to my crooked voice tonight. Before I go ahead, I would like to introduce to you the two great young men I've got with me here tonight. I'm calling it tonight, but somebody is going to tell you what time is it so that you understand if he says this morning. So that is what the struggle has got. I told him that I was feeling a bit guilty that I'm going to wake him up from sleep just to sit here, but that is how much he's got to pay for the struggle. And I am talking here about Comrade Minister Silva, all the way from Australia. You are welcome to County Roots, and thank you for accepting our invitation. Comrade
Thank
Silva,
you, Comfort.
you're welcome to County Roots.
Thank you, Comfort. It's really a sacrifice to be up at this time. And I want to say it is worth it, because what can a patriotic Ambazonia do, in such a time like this, in this revolution? But to sacrifice, in all areas, sacrifice your time, sacrifice your money, sacrifice your energy, and just whatever you can sacrifice to see that we get to Buea. So I'm not regretting. I'm happy, and I'm so grateful to be part of this program. And I believe our televiewers will not regret as well, of joining us in this edition of County Roots. Thank you.
Thank you so very much. This is so encouraging and is actually a source of inspiration to me. If you can wake up at this hour to do this, then I would like to do even more. I don't know what about others. So now we go over to our all great Prince Jeka. I am so happy to have you on this platform of County Roots. So thank you for accepting our invitation. Jeka, welcome to County Roots.
Thank you, Mama Comfort. May God bless you and bless your household and bless the people of Ambazonia.
Thank you. Thank you. So I think it's been long. I've not said hi. Let me just use 1 second to say, extending our greetings to a few comrades before we move on. Don Dinga, I greet you, our genius of the revolution. You are doing a great job. Thank you so much. God bless you. Thank you, Awanda Rose. Thank you, Babs, Obabs Akam. Thank you, Tinamba. Thank you, Odelo. Thank you, fellow Amazonians. Thank you, dear televiewers, for joining in. So once again, my heart goes to our people back home. My heart goes to families that have been touched directly, that they have lost someone, even today that we are talking. I just want to say we are in it together. We are bereaved together. We are mourning together, and we shall one day join to celebrate. My heart equally goes to our great heroes who have been picked up from ground zero. This is just to say, like they will say in the oppressor's language, the kisu moktong, you know. On this, you know, these people who speak with various sides of their mouth. On this side of the mouth, you say, come, let's talk. And on the other side of the mouth, you say, go get him, arrest him. So I am thinking here about our hero and great senior, great comrade Abdul Karim and the rest of his likes who have been arrested, and they are wherever they are. It's rather unfortunate for La Republique that they are struggling to imprison a spirit. They are struggling to kill a spirit. They are struggling to do the impossible just to have us stay. But it is totally impossible. He may kill all of us. He may arrest all of us. He may do whatever thing, but he will not kill that spirit that is burning in us, the spirit of seeing homeland free. I talk a lot these days, forgive me, but let's move on. So this takes us now to business. We actually want to start with Comrade Silva. It is about AM now in Australia. You woke up from sleep to sit here this morning, your time. So as a young man pursuing this revolution to see homeland free, what aspect of homeland do you really miss, especially given that you and I are on exile and we don't yet know when we shall land either in Tico or in Bafut Airport? What aspect of homeland do you miss now?
Minister Silva. Comrade Comfort, this is a question that is that puts me to thinking, because I remember the last time I visited Homeland, I discovered that, you know, a lot of things were not going on where, and especially in the northern zone where I visited, the city of Bamenda had deteriorated in such a way that I don't really think, you know, coming back over here and reflecting of what I saw back at home, there is, you know, something I can really sit and say I'm missing back at home. The only thing I can really say I'm missing is the brutality of La République du Cameroon, the marginalization, you know, that I experienced while I was back there, the bad roads that, you know, I walked through the streets of Bamenda, and I saw. Those are some of the things, you know, that I can say I miss, you know. But notwithstanding, Comrade Comfort, I miss my achu, like, you know, and palm wine, which is what we hardly, you know, get over here. And but looking at it the other way, I can barely tell you that there is really nothing I am missing back, you know, in Ambazonia, because La République had completely destroyed our land. La République had completely destroyed, you know, all what we have in terms of, you know, cultural and economic values. And so I believe that is why we are standing in this revolution, to fight to see that we restore all those things that La République had stolen from our land, so that one can sit and think again of Ambazonia, think again of, you know, Ambazonia, and, you know, and like cherish going back home. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much. So if someone listens to Minister Silva well, like I did, you know, these people are like, they have stolen away our hearts. They exported us spirit and soul somehow. Someone is almost not missing homeland because of the kind of mess that you left back home and what you went back and saw again, you know. However, we are moving on because we are going to make him home. We are going to make it home again. and home forever and ever. So, Comrade Jeka, I know that you would equally have something to say about missing homeland, and maybe add a word to it. What keeps you really fighting? Why do you keep fighting, given the mess and the confusion that's even out there?
Well,
Jeka, can you hear me?
Mama Comfort, there is nothing I miss of homeland. Yeah, I'm getting you. Are you getting me? Mama Comfort,
Sure.
are you getting me?
5 on 5. Yes,
Okay,
I can
good.
get to 5 on 5.
Like I said there's nothing I'm missing of homeland, because homeland is not free. If you miss something of your land, then when you're in bondage, then there's nothing I miss. Actually, let me cut it short. There's nothing I miss of Southern Cameroon. The only thing I miss is that I'm angry. Yeah, I feel angry that the world of my people are being exploited and we are suffering. The world of our people are being exploited and we don't have a voice. That's what. So anything I have in me is anger. I don't miss nothing. The only person that miss something is somebody who has a joy, the joy to go enjoy something. You cannot have joy when people are dying. You cannot have joy when people are being killed. You cannot have joy when your mothers are in bushes. So now what we have in us is anger. So every youth of Watana Wata movement, including Prince Jeka, we need more guns. We need more RPGs to go out and free our people. That's what we need now. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you so much, fellow Ambazonians, listening to the two comrades who are here, two young Amazonians who do not actually miss home for some reason. But I will read what Tinamba says. Comrade Tinamba misses her people. She misses good food. She misses Mami Alias cutting grass in Tarikun. Yes, even so, I don't know. At this point, I want to say that I missed something. If you have, just post something and let me see what you miss, or if you share, if you are on the same line with Comrade Silva and Jeka, let me know. Do you at least miss something I've read from Tinamba? And me equally? Yes, us of course, and everybody back home. Believe me, you know what? I just miss the dust back home. You know, this month of March, April, when the first rains fall, there is this smell. I don't know whether it's an aroma or what. You know that smell. I miss it. I just miss moving in the dust. I am actually a village-grown child. I miss. When I say home, the home that I even miss is not Bamenda. I grew even the most of my life in Bamenda. But where I started up my foundation down the village, that is what I miss most. I just want to go there. I'm just praying that God should give us Ambazonia when I still have some sleep. But however, I understand your anger. You know, it's just like it's of no use. But we only makes you keep fighting. I really need to know. There's a lot of confusion out there, especially in the diaspora. There's at times you feel that you are really in a mess. Everything is I mean, everything is lying like rubbles in a ground that has been attacked by storm, and everything is just jumbled all over and so on. There's this confusion out there. What keeps you still fighting on, Prince Jacob?
What keeps me fighting on is we need to fight. We need to fight, or we die in slavery. We must keep fighting. Every youth, every father, every mother must keep fighting. You see, there comes a time in a man's life, or in the life of a particular nation and people, which when you discover your roots, you discover your history, you realize that many things have been hidden from you, and you cannot get that back in a peaceful way. So you have to fight back. So the past of our people, the slavery of our people, the slavery of the nation of Southern Cameroon, because Southern Cameroon is a nation, is the cause of which we are fighting today. So every youth, every citizen of Southern Cameroon must have that in mind, that despite how they brandish the so-called Southern Cameroon Revolution, despite how they change the talks to decentralization, despite how they modify the terms and ideology behind the revolution, everything they're about saying is about a people which was, they once lived independent back in the 1956. We had our own laws, we had our own system, we had our own culture, and we had our own heritage. So that is a purpose which we need to fight for, because we're a people and we need to preserve our culture.
Thank you so much, Jeka. What I got one thing from you home. You say, if we don't fight, we will remain in slavery. That is very true. Me, I'm on that. I am actually of that opinion as well, because if we don't fight and take our freedom, because freedom is never given, it is actually rather taken. If we don't fight to take back our independence, to restore our independence, we will remain in slavery forever. We will remain slaves forever and ever. So it is all about us fighting and fighting. That is why we are moving on. So back to you, Minister Silva. What is your evaluation of this revolution so far? We are 3 years old and counting. Is everything really moving on a good footing? Or if you were given an opportunity to like propose some corrections, either to our leaders or to everybody who has a stake in this revolution, what would be your proposals? How would you prefer?
Yes,
that all right, carry on if you got me. Yeah.
Comrade Comfort, actually, I would like to, before I get to that question, I would like to add something to what Prince Jeka said with respect to what keeps him burning to keep on fighting in this revolution. You know, someone like me, when I sit and I look at our IDPs, our mothers, our children that are living in bushes, and some of them don't even have a shelter on their heads. Some of them live for days without eating. When I think of our refugees that are in Nigeria, it keeps, me, fighting, because I want to see these people one day, come out of this situation. I want to see our refugees return home one day, and together where we will gather and celebrate in Buea. Those are some of the things that keeps me fighting in this revolution. When I look at the younger generation, that is coming up, they are so much looking up to us. And I believe some of them are really praying hard that we shouldn't give up in this revolution, because the only hope they have is to see us fight and see, Ambazonia restored so they can have a bright and a good future. When I think of generations yet unborn, those are the things that motivate me to keep on fighting. Because if you look critically, if we don't keep fighting, if we give up, the enemy we don't defeat today, our children will live to fight that same enemy. That is why we must not give up in this revolution. The enemy we don't conquer today, we are only giving more work to our children, to the future generation, because they will live to fight that same enemy. So we must do everything to stand strong and keep fighting. I cannot give up at this stage of this revolution, because I know that it is an abomination to embark on a journey and then you don't get to your destination and you give up, because you are not just going to frustrate those that you left behind, but you are going to frustrate those who are waiting for you to arrive, to welcome you at your destination. So I have made up my mind not to frustrate the 8 million Ambazonians, those who are alive and those who are yet to be born. And that is why I will keep fighting in this revolution. We don't care what Mr. Biya do with his terrorist soldiers to intimidate us, to keep killing our people. But one thing I know is that God Almighty is on our side. And the divine constitution, some people call it the Bible, says if God is on your side, who can be against you? No one. The Almighty God is with us. And that is our motivation. We don't care even if the whole world is not with us. God with you, you are a majority. We will keep fighting. We will keep fighting until we get to Buea. This journey is a journey where we have decided to sacrifice all, of our body, soul, spirit, to make sure that we get to Buea, and just nothing can stop us. And getting to the next question which you asked about the evaluation of this revolution. I want to say, at one point of this revolution, this revolution started in 2016, where our people said they were tired of living as slaves under La République du Cameroon, because they had lived as slaves for about 56 years. And all they met was brutality from La République du Cameroon. And since then, it built up a kind of passion. At first, we were thinking that we could even still, you know, a dialogue or talk with these people and get to a level where we could still live together, until, you know, they started killing us, burning our houses. And then we said, it is not worth living again with La République. We have to stand and fight for the complete restoration of Ambazonia. That is why on the 1st of October 2017, our statehood was restored. Ambazonian independence was restored. And since then, we have had some challenges, but that has still kept us standing strong, you know, because if we look even at the state of things, I want to say we are on track, irrespective of our differences, irrespective of, you know, some infighting. Every household, you know, will experience things like that. Even when we were growing up, Comrade Comfort, we usually fight, you know, in our homes, as brothers and sisters, we will fight, but at the end of the day, we will still reconcile and still, you know, stand as people or members of the same family. That is what is happening in the Ambazonian revolution. There have been a lot of fighting here and there, but that doesn't discourage me, and I hope it is not going to discourage any Ambazonia, because we know things like that are bound to happen. We didn't plan for this war that La République waged against us. We didn't plan for this revolution, but God had orchestrated it to happen in such a time like this. And all I can say is that we must continue to stand, and we must continue to stand strong, irrespective of all what is happening, all, you know, the experiences we are having, all the challenges we are having. Now, if there is anything I will want to change in this revolution, or if I'm given, you know, the opportunity to correct, is the fact that when we got to a certain level in this revolution where we were attracting a lot of international attention, some of our leaders made some declarations that increased, you know, the infighting in this revolution, which I saw it as immaturity, and it was uncalled for when some of our leaders, you know, declared a second government. That was the greatest error of all times in this revolution. When they declared a second government, when the whole world was looking up to the interim government, and then some of our leaders got up and said, you know, they are creating a second government. That made the international community to think we are just, you know, childish, and what we are doing, we are not serious. Because I remember that happened when I think it was the US Congress had to deliberate on the Ambazonian crisis. That is when, you know, all these things happened. And since it happened, we discovered that this revolution took another turn of confusion among us. But that still did not stop us. That still did not stop us. I want to say that was a big error on the part of, you know, those leaders and those who were supporting initiatives like that, even some activists who have been supporting, you know, initiatives like that, which has kept us, I can say, has kept us somehow, you know, as stagnant for a while. But like I said, we are focused and we are moving forward, irrespective of all these things. Irrespective of all these things, we are focused and we are moving forward. Yeah.
Okay, thank you so very much. Ed has commented earlier on that you have a kind of conviction that everybody loves. I think I share her opinion, and just to add that, you actually put it out there with such a voice that carries this authority in it. So this is how much, you know, this is just to show that the self-confidence that we've got, because we know what we want. We know exactly how it looks like. And the honest truth, like you say, If we do not fight, then we are not brothers and sisters. Because even identical twins, they do disagree. What more of us? How many mamas and papas do we have? Who thought? Whoever asked, or who is ever expecting that everything should move smoothly? It is that person should be dreaming. No revolution has ever been any way different than ours. It's just that when things go wrong, let's get them right. We fight while we move on together. So I really do share your opinion. I will equally step back. Let me just take you guys back. Sorry, fellow Ambazonians, as you are watching, please kindly share and invite someone. You gave reasons why you want to keep fighting. I thought that I should add in my voice, because the thing that took me to this revolution, I was never planning to do it until one morning I found myself on Facebook shouting and saying stuff because I could not keep it anymore. I cannot stop fighting because the thing that took me into this revolution has not stopped. It gets worse every day. I stepped into this the very moment a woman like me was raped. The very moment a woman like me was dropped in sewage water, I was like, okay, if this is where it is, then I'm in. And they have not stopped raping us. They have not stopped humiliating us. They have not stopped killing us. So what makes me to stop? I thought that I just need to chip in this. And moreover, you and I, including JK, including any other person who is not at home, we are on exile. If we stop fighting, then we forget about home. We will never go home. Children who are born here, our children who are born here, home will just be abstract, you know. So that is reason for which some of us need to fight. I will repeat this on this platform every day till we get home. Most people, especially those of us in the diaspora, we think that we are fighting because we are doing a favor to ground zero. No, we are not doing a favor to Yes, bro.
Secretary Comfort. Yes. When you say fighting, you need to tell them what they need to use to fight. When you just say fighting, somebody will not understand what you mean by fighting. Tell them they need to buy weapons, buy guns, call the name guns to your. This is country roots. Back in the days of our forefathers, they need to use the bare gun to defend themselves. You can remember the Nso resistance. You can remember the Bakweri resistance. You think, how did those our fathers use? So it's high time we tell them, when you say fighting, they will not understand. But tell them we need to buy guns, RPGs. Sound it very loud in this. This TV is the national TV. Sound it very loud in their ears.
Yes, you're right, Becca, because that is just the right thing to do this time around, because we have a right to self-determination. We have a right to self-defense, you know. So we have been folding our arms, and the enemy has been pouncing on us for over half a century. It got to that moment where we were at the wall, and what we could do was only to bounce back. So bouncing back means doing exactly what we say. You cannot defend yourself with bare hands. You need the weapons. That is just it, my prince. I hope I know we are saying the same thing. So apart from that, JK, let's skip to some other thing. The word dialogue is being regularly used these days, both by the enemy, by the Federal Republic of Ambazonia, both at home and abroad, and equally by the international community. What does this actually mean to you? I don't care how the enemy is using his own means, what they mean by the dialogue, but they mention the word. That is a word that never existed. It's just a new word into their vocabulary. So what does it mean to you that the whole world, including the Republic du Cameroon, are talking about dialogue?
When you talk about dialogue in one context, because we have monologue. You have a monologue when you have one person sitting as the judge and pretending to do dialogue, and then that is what we are having in Cameroon. I mean, in La Republique, what they are doing is monologue. When we talk about present situation of this crisis, we should not be talking about dialogue. It has to be on a debate. We have to debate. Debate means that they sit that way, La Republique that way, Southern Cameroonians, Ambazonians this way. Then we debate, because when we left the Eastern Regional House in Enugu with the United Nations, then plebiscite, wanting to form, bring us back to a nation, wanting to give us independence. They gave us two options, which to my own view was very wrong. The first option was either we join Nigeria or we join La Republique. They did not give us the final one, which was being independent by our own self. So that one, they did an error there. But the one thing that is good, the advantage of it is they said we are joining each of those parties with equal status. They did not say 5/5 or 2/3. They said equal, not 1/3, not 2/3, equal status. So when you have an equal status with another state, that means you have to debate. So what we are talking here is not about dialogue. And even they are talking about dialogue, what BIA is doing is sham, because that's not dialogue. They are doing monologue. Monologue is consulting the same member of your fellow political party, the same members of your Senate, the same members of your government, the same members of your National Assembly. That's monologue. And then you declare yourself the person in charge of the dialogue. You sit as the judge. So what are we dialoguing on? And when we talk about even a dialogue, not even a debate, as I was trying to say, that means they have to come a third party, which will be on one side, Southern Cameroon on one side. Then we can even talk of dialoguing or debating. So for now, that's not a dialogue, that is a sham, which at the end of the day, it will end up in the waters. Because as of now, what we need to do more is to buy our guns, buy the popcorn, buy the granite, sound it to the youth of Ambazonia, because this is their destiny. Yeah, whatever BIA is doing there, he's doing it for his political party, CPDM. It doesn't concern Ambazonia one bit. Ambazonia youth, Southern Cameroonian youth, let me ring this again over ABC. It's your boy, Prince J. Carr. Know that whether you are standing for decentralization or federation, if independence is not in your agenda, no, you're failing yourself. I've told you guys that before. Whether you are standing for decentralization, if independence closed today, your case is a no-go case. You see how Barrister Gbobala is fooling himself over Facebook now, saying we are trying to crucify him. That's not what he said. Who first took Barrister Gbobala to Prime Minister Dion Butte's office? We, the youth, have decided that we must debate this thing in an international scale. So we don't need all this Cardinal Tumi them. Tell all of them. So all my youths, we need to come. There is no dialogue. We need a debate with the United Nations, France, and Britain. And before we do that, only AK-47 will make that happen. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Prince Jacob, for saying it exactly as it is, for putting it exactly how you think it should be. So back to you, Minister Silva. I would equally like to get your opinion on this. Yeah.
Yeah, Comfort, when we talk of dialogue.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just trying to think about the question again, but you seem to still have it in mind, so you can carry on.
Yeah, actually, at this level, I think Ambazonians shouldn't even be talking of dialogue, like Prince Jacob rightly put it, because we have gone past that level of. I think the word dialogue shouldn't even be in our vocabulary. You know, that word shouldn't even exist in our dictionary any longer, so far as this revolution is concerned, because we could talk of dialogue when this revolution started in 2016, where we were still kind of hoping that we could even still cohabit with La République du Cameroon. But after our independence was declared on the 1st of October 2017, I think we grew past that level of talking about dialogue. Like Prince Jacob rightly said, now we're debating and talking about negotiation. We shouldn't be talking about dialogue any longer. Federalists and La République and Unionists can be talking about dialogue, because that is where that is the mental strata at which they still operate. But I believe we have gone past that level, because like federalists, if they are talking of dialogue, I think it is really, an error that, in their reason. I see it like an error in the kind of way they reason, because federation took us to where we are, and the federation took us to this frustration into which we are into, and we cannot still be talking of going to dialogue to federate with La République du Cameroon. So we should be talking of negotiation. And when I see, if you look, most of those who talk of dialogue, Comrade Comfort, most of the Ambazonians who talk of dialogue are some of those people who are already on the way to their grave. People like, Chief Mukete, people like Cardinal Tumi, people like John Frunzi, and you see all those people like Fonangwafo, who is, to me, is a big disgrace. Those are the people you hear talking about dialogue, and I am really disappointed when some young Ambazonians like Monzo, Dr. Monzo, and Agbobala are joining these old people to talk of dialogue. We have gone past that level of dialogue. We should be talking about negotiation. And that is why that thing that La République is trying to do in Yaoundé, to me, is a big sham. To me, it's never gonna work, because we don't care. Let the federalists go to dialogue and see if anything would change in Ambazonia. We don't care about, those betrayers, those Judas Iscariots who are talking of dialogue, and some of them are rushing to La République, to meet the Prime Minister of La République. We don't care about that. All we know is that we are waiting for La République in Swiss. When they are ready to meet us at Switzerland, then we're gonna negotiate and we're gonna debate, and after that we will go our both ways and still live in peace, whereby if you want to visit La République, you can obtain a visa, and if they want to visit Ambazonia, they can obtain a visa to visit us. So I think dialogue shouldn't even be in our vocabulary right now.
Okay, thank you both very much. So if I heard what you said, dialogue is a no-go, especially the dialogue, as Baro Emon just put it right now. Some people call it monologue, others say dialogue, others say, Dodinga say D-I-E, lock, L-O-C-K. They call it a lot of names. John, my comrade Chris Jacob said that dialogue or monologue is a kind of a sham. Others say it's a charade. People are calling it all the names they want to. Do you want to add something before I move on?
Yeah, Comrade Comfort. Yeah. Comrade Comfort, what La République calls dialogue, to me, I see like another progressive dimension of CPDM convention, because you can't talk of dialogue and then the people you delegated, or the people you appointed as the people you want to sit and dialogue with, are people who are all CPDM, followers of CPDM members, and then even some of the people who are Ambazonians, whom to me, as CPDM people, are being led by, Pobia slaves like Lele Afrique and Okala Bilai, to go and represent who are those the people that are supposed to represent are those the people that are supposed to represent Ambazonia in any dialogue that concerns this revolution. So you see, let me tell you the game Mr. Biya is playing. Mr. Biya knew that the international community had been like putting pressure on him to dialogue. So, and he knew that one of the things we had said is that before any dialogue, in those days when we're even still talking of dialogue, before any talks or negotiation between us goes on between us and La République, there must be, the release of every leader of Ambazonia that is in La République prisons. And so those were one of the conditions that we gave. And this so-called dialogue, if we have to sit down anytime and anywhere to talk, it shouldn't be in La République. So one of the things Mr. Biya does is that he decided to call his dialogue in La République. He decided to sentence our leaders, life imprisonment. He just violated everything that could ever make us accept a dialogue, and then he announced a dialogue. So what do you see about that? He knew that, you know, doing all this we will never accept. So he was indirectly running from any talks with us. So if it is a disgrace for any Ambazonian to think that Mr. Biya really means what he is saying. Mr. Biya is not ready to talk with us. He is not ready to dialogue, even to negotiate with us. He is not ready. All those things he is doing, how can you say you are calling for dialogue and then you violate all the things that, you know, are like conditions for the dialogue, and then you say you are calling for dialogue? Yes, Prince Jeka, I think you wanted to say something.
Let me add something. Let me add something to that. I want to say that at this point in time, every Southern Cameroonian born of that land have to be very wise, because we are seeing the green light at the end of the tunnel. It was once said someday in La Republique territory that there is no Anglophone problem. By then, when this revolution started. Now, today, it is being said there is a problem, but they want to turn it into a global problem. Now, they don't want to look us as an independent people, as a people with a sovereignty, as a people with a state, as a people which have their own defined culture, their own defined norms, their own defined laws and education. Now, every Southern Cameroonian, from the arrest of Abdul Karim, you have to know very well that Biya is just trying to play a diplomatical game. Now, if Abdul Karim could speak over Equinox, and in the next 24 hours, Abdul Karim was arrested, that means that even we want to accept the sham, the monologue, the dialogue, to come over there, everybody will be arrested. That's very simple. Now, I think the arrest of Abdul Karim has to be a message which our leaders who are collaborating now have to send it over to the international world, that Biya is calling for a dialogue. Abdul Karim told him very, very clear over the Equinox TV that the only way they can resolve the issues in Southern Cameroon is to dialogue with the people, the separatists, the independentists, those who want a sovereign state of Ambazonia as it was back in 1960. And after 24 hours, Abdul Karim was missing. So I think this is a PowerPoint which leaders have to pick out and send it over to the international committee that, okay, yes, we accept the dialogue. Okay, Mr. Biya. But how come Abdul Karim is being arrested? How come? That's to tell you it is a monologue. Now, for somebody like Lele Afrique and Okala Bilai, it first of all is shame that we have indigenes of Southern Cameroon, proud people which are well educated, well landed, and then we see gold dogs, diggers, hoodlums in the name of Lele Afrique and Okala Bilai wanting to lead a delegation of Southern Cameroon over to Yaoundé for a monologue. That is a shame. It's just I don't want to call the church because Cardinal Tumi gave out good stands, but that is a shame. And any indigene of Southern Cameroon that will follow Lele Afrique and Okala Bilai to that monologue, they should be ready that they will face war with this new generation. Things are not hidden against Android web anywhere you go to see it. So thank you for that. Let's continue. I'm sorry for taking your time.
Yeah, so I think I would like to add, yes, I just would like to add something as well. You know, this thing of a Biya dialogue thing is actually a joke. It is just one of his ploys, you know, to make believe the international community that all is well, such that the Swiss initiative be swept and put under the carpet as usual. But unfortunately, things are not, I mean, the center cannot hold any longer, no matter whatever thing he is trying to do, you know. because he is trying to make believe. He just wants these people. He has moved from place to place. You know, they have invited everybody from the diaspora. You know, they called our bro, they called us from the diaspora, from everywhere, and so on. Come. He is just like mocking himself, because the same person who wants dialogue, like you said, you actually took my point, but I'm going to go back to it. You want dialogue with us. You are expecting us to leave the diaspora, the same us you call terrorists. And then you want us to leave the diaspora and come over. You are going to sponsor our flights, our hotel bills. What is this all for? And then Abdul Karim, who is here, who should even speak because he is at home and he needs this dialogue even more than I do, even if it were a dialogue. You arrest him just because he was part of the Swiss initiative, the preliminary Swiss this thing last week that he attended. So is that anyway? The honest truth is that this is actually foreign news we are dwelling on, because it is none of our business. So this takes us actually, I'm sorry, to the next question. What is your impression about the Swiss initiative, Minister Silva?
One of the things I'm really one of the things I'm highly motivated and encouraged about the Swiss initiative is that if we look since when we started talking of this Swiss initiative, our leaders, some of our leaders in the diaspora, have been more united than ever before. If we look like Comrade Bo Herbert, His Excellency Dr. Samuel Sako, and Dr. Akwanga, if we look at all of these leaders coming together, it is as a result of the fact that they have seen that it is necessary in such a time in this revolution for them to come together, and speak in unity, speak with one mouth, speak, with strength, to see that this crisis is resolved and we get to Buea soonest. So that is one of the biggest achievements so far in the midst of all the controversies which has been happening in this revolution. And I really want to say, irrespective of whatever the foreign news we are talking about, we know that the Swiss calendar is still respected. We know our leaders are in Toronto, and they are, they each day they keep, fighting and pushing forward to see that, this Swiss initiative actually was something that was welcomed by the international community as well. And we also, at first, we were skeptical, but along the line, we saw that at least somehow they were genuine, and it was endorsed by the United States and even other countries. And so one of the greatest things that we should be focused on now is this Swiss initiative. We should even forget about whatever dialogue is going on in La Republique, because at the end of the day, we are the ones that determines the face of this revolution, how things go, because those who control the guns on the ground are not the federalists or unionists or Mr. Biya or whatsoever. The independentists are the ones that are in control of the guns on the ground. So it's only in Swiss that we can talk, and then we bring a lasting solution to this war that Mr. Biya declared on us. And if he fails to meet us in Swiss, like Prince Jaka rightly said, we have to do everything to see that our people are provided with the necessary, ammunition that is required to pull the international attention. Because if we look critically, the international community, has no language. They have no two languages that they understand, but gun. When they hear guns in Ambazonia, I think they will, they will increase their speed, in trying to see how they can step into this revolution and resolve it. So the Swiss initiative, I believe, it's really a good initiative, and I want to encourage even some of those leaders who are still, playing games, to join the train, because we are focused and there is no turning back. They should join this train, because I really think this initiative is going to yield great fruits for this revolution.
Okay, thank you very much, Minister Silva. Dear televiewers, before I hand over the microphone to my prince, I would like you to equally share your opinion about the Swiss initiative. What do you think? Are there any hopes? Someone is saying that we should think beyond the Swiss initiative. I buy your opinion that we should stop the beer, this beer, that, yeah, because beer is not going to help us. But please share on the screen what is your own opinion about the Swiss initiative. So over to you, Comrade Jacob. Do you have any hopes that something good can come out of that initiative?
For me, I don't have hopes because the hope you need to have is in yourself. Why I tell you I don't have hopes is because the world is controlled by evil minds. And you don't need to put hope in any person, but you put hope in yourself and in God. So the Switch initiative is just a normal fulfilling all righteousness till you find out that it's fulfilling the hopes of the people. Then you start putting hopes. For so long as it has not started fulfilling the hopes of the people, bringing good things as we are seeing, then for now we just do it to say it's fulfilling all righteousness.
Sorry, Jacob,
now, why do I say?
Okay, yeah, carry on. I think you want to explain yourself.
Why do I say it's fulfilling all righteousness? When it concerns war, you should never reject any dialogue. We're in a war, we're in a revolution. Any dialogue, any negotiation being called for, never reject it. Now, that's why you saw me in my first phase. I was saying that the arrest of Abdul Karim should be picked up by our leaders who are collaborating now and send it over to the international organs. If they say, why did we not attend? Then we'll inform them that if Abdul Karim was arrested 24 hours after his speech on Equinox, then what about us? So that's one clear point there. Then the second thing you need to know, when you beg for something, they will give you anything. Ambazonians, we must not be too emotional to beg. We should not be too emotional to be carried in everything. When we hear dialogue, yes, we know we have a passion that we want this revolution to be finished quick. But despite that, don't show your passion to the world. Make the world know you are tough people. Take the spirit of Israel. Israel is a small country with few people, but you never see them showing their passion to the world that they are being scared of their Arab enemies. Ambazonians, my people, do not show your emotions. Yes, we are happy they are talking about dialogue. We have accepted the dialogue. But what brought us to this stage of dialogue? It is self-defense. It is guns. That's why I told my fellow youth of Watanda Wata movement, I told them that we need all of you who passed chemistry, physics, and technology in high school, in university, doing doctorate. We need all of you now to serve your motherland. Even in your bedroom, you can serve. All of you who did technology, we need you, because remember the words of Dr. Kwanga. He said it very clear. He said, if we are not ready to intensify the war and take the war from AKs to RPGs, the international government will never take us serious. Why they are taking us serious today? It's because we have been able to take the war from peace plant to then guns and to AKs. So we need to skip the levels from AKs to RPGs and destroying everything of French Cameroon, everything built by the French, because French, all their things, they don't do. All what we are using in Cameroon, in Southern Cameroon, it's of the Germans, not of the French. So we have to take it. If we don't do that, even the Swiss dialogue, they will just squeeze everything and put in our mouth. Yeah, because it's like we are the one begging. You see, there's not begging. But whereas we don't need to beg, we have the food, we have everything, we have the food, we have the minerals. They need to beg us because we feed them. I hope you're getting me, Secretary Comfort. They need to beg us because we feed them. Without Southern Cameroon, La Republique will never exist. We feed them. So even though we accept the Swiss dialogue, we should concentrate more of getting more good weapons, informing our people to join us, that now the light is very clear. They can see the promised land, but we need this to survive. Thank you.
Okay, let me read a contribution from Shushu Bay. Shushube says, sweet stocks on one hand and sugarcane on the other hand. We should not put our eggs in one basket. So you got it, Shushube.
Very good.
Shushube. You know
Very
what?
good. Very good.
When the sweet stocks does not mean that we are going to stop sugarcaning any moment from now. No. We will hold
That's
our
right.
guns till everything is settled and done. I'm afraid, my prince, that I'm going to differ with you here a bit. I am rather so much in love with this Swiss initiative. Why? Because this Swiss initiative, no, if you laugh, do not laugh. Listen to me first. You know what? While we are pursuing the Swiss initiative, we even need more guns now than ever before. Because
exactly
how many guns we have and kill as many people as they are killing now, we will only end up on a table. Okay, we will only end up on a table. So we have the gun here and we are sitting on the table out there because, you know, I want to interpret something. You know, when they say, like, what the international community is asking, that we should go, if they are calling for dialogue from both sides without any preconditions. Let us take time to understand what they mean by without any preconditions. There are times, I have nothing, don't get me wrong. We have this team,
No,
we're still so listen, we are so stiff-necked. I don't know if it's the right word I'm using here, on the fact that if Sisiko and the rest are not released, we will not go on any table. But remember that these guys may also ask us that while they sit on the table, let us drop our guns. Those are preconditions. Okay, so if gunning is going on and it will go on till the last minute, that will be the last thing we will stop doing, right? But as far as the Swiss talks are concerned, to me, I rather do appreciate and embrace it because they are just now they are just still at the preliminaries. They are not yet into the talks. They are not yet into any negotiation. They are just
my great secretary. My great secretary. Let me come in. Let me come in 1 minute, please. I know. Maybe you did not understand the way I put it. The thing is, we are in the house now, so we'll talk this one inside house, even though we are out in the national TV. But I want to let you know. The Swiss. No, it's okay. No, it's okay.
What you have to hide that he doesn't know? Carry on.
No, it's all right. Let me just continue English. The Swiss dialogue, I'm not saying it's bad, but I want to let you know you have been in Europe for a very long time, or we have been here. You know, this international world takes you on the way you present yourself. There was a picture you saw over the United Nations General Assembly in New York. You saw that when the Europeans were talking, the hall was full. When the African presidents were talking, the hall was empty. It's because the way the Africans are presenting themselves to the world. It's from that philosophy you see me coming from. The way you present yourself, it's good to show interest for the dialogue. They should see that we are open, just like how you said you love the issue. Yes, I love it. But I cannot tell my fellow man I love it because he will look me like, oh, this man is already getting tired of the boxing ring. I hope you're getting my point. Not that I don't love it. Now you are talking from a mother, you are talking from a mother perspective. But now I'm coming from the man's perspective. We all love it. But we are in a boxing ring. And in this boxing ring, we want to come out with 10 KOs. We want to win to show that, no, we are strong and God is with us. So I cannot come and like, you see the way Bia's acting. He's trying to prove that he's the lion. No, he's going behind us, telling the Swiss people, yes, I'm for you. They come in front and then tell them, I'm not.
My prince, actually, you actually shisha me because I was talking and you actually like say stop. I want to talk and I let you talk.
No, I'm not
so you know what? Before this is not fair.
Then I said, "She come for now. Man, tissue that toxic." Yeah.
Wait, see, you know what? You make me forget what I wanted to say. We are not in a kind of broad affair where we want to show who is strong. Remember, we have a population out there to save. Our people are dying. You know, we need these AKs. As long as we are just struggling to get some few acres, but these people have enough already. They have the whole artillery, right? We are trying to save our people. So if dialogue is ongoing already while we are doing what we are doing, that is already a plus for me, and I really do embrace it, and I just wanted to move on. So, Minister Silva, I think you wanted to add something for 30 seconds so that we change topic or we move to some other thing.
Yeah. What actually I wanna contribute, or I want to add to what we are saying, is that the dialogue, the Swiss initiative is really good, but like Prince Jeka rightly said as well, we need to be wise as we get into it. And one thing I want to say is that if there is anything that will facilitate this Swiss negotiation and dialogue, is when ground zero is hot. And we have to make ground zero hot, you know, by increasing the amount of granite and sticks. Because when ground zero gets very hot, I think it will push and motivate, you know, the facilitators and the international community to see that this Swiss dialogue, you know, comes very fast. And they would not take it lightly. Maybe they are still taking lightly because we are trying to show a lot of, you know, desperation, like Prince rightly said, to it. But I think when we focus, when we put a lot of energy as well in the restoration forces on the ground and make ground zero very hot, I think the Swiss dialogue will come within the blink of an eye.
I know. Yeah. So the truth here, something I would recommend fellow Ambazonians, dear televiewers and sympathizers of this revolution, whenever you hear that there is a town hall talk like the one that is taking place in Canada this weekend, go there so that you get the depth of all what the Swiss initiative is about. If I am smiling about the Swiss initiative, is because I have a clue. You know, so if ask questions, just ask questions, listen to talks. If you see any one of them is coming out on a show, come up, ask questions and get clarification so that you will know where we are coming from. Believe me, all of these people who are out there to Switzerland and coming back, none of them is anyway thinking that we want to stop fighting. None of them is in any way thinking that we are on the begging side, because we are proud of ourselves. We are proudly Ambazonian. We know what we want and we know who we are. You know? Like so that is just sound. What it is. But there's no sound. You can't get me.
Take the comfort. There is no sound.
Can you hear? Can
people are saying? Are people comment?
Can someone hear me?
Are people commenting? Hear you. It's not sound.
5 on 5.
I'm getting you. But those who are commenting say there is no sound. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know, but let's just
Can
continue.
Someone hear me now? Please just post a comment. Can someone hear me now? Please post a comment. Yeah, let's know whether you can hear us now.
Okay, so sound is okay.
Please. This is very important. Yeah, this is very important, and it's going to be like the last point. I'm asking that people should share their opinion here, because today, unfortunately, we are not going to take calls. So please, if you have any contribution, put it here, because this is really important for us, please. So thank you guys for letting us know that there is sound. So this takes us actually to some other thing about the Swiss talks. Of recent, or a couple of days ago, we have read a letter, an open letter from another member of the ACT that was formed in Switzerland a couple of days ago, who have chosen to rescind their signature from the Swiss initiative, that they don't find it worthwhile. So what do you want to say to these people, or what is your reaction? What did you how did you feel when you read this? That's something that we are hoping and building and thinking that, oh, it's working, and before you discover, somebody slips out. So what is your opinion about that, Minister Silva?
Well, actually, Comrade Comfort, we will discover that things like that will always happen. But like I will always say, is that I don't have much attention to pay on inconsistent people. You know, people who start a thing and then at one point, you know, they withdraw without really, you know, getting to see the result of what they started, because this Swiss initiative is something, you know, that came up, and we didn't just embrace it because we were just excited. But remember, at first people had to like question it, and so if anyone got into it and then at one point is trying to withdraw, it means that person, you know, is inconsistent. Because right now in this revolution, I would advise that if you want to do anything, if you want, I was talking with one activist, I said, if you want to do anything, the phase at which this revolution is right now is very critical, in such a way that, you know, if you want to do anything, take your time and reflect the consequences that that thing is going to cause to the 8 million Ambazonians and to the revolution as a whole. Anything you do has, you know, a lot to play in the minds of Ambazonians. So take your time to think before getting into anything, because if you get into a thing and people are looking up to you, people are celebrating, and then at one point you back out, you know, you have simply caused a lot of confusion and a lot of frustration, you know, in the minds of those that are looking up to you. And that just proves, you know, how immature you are as a leader. We have gone past that level where people should be making mistakes or just doing things because they want to excite people or because they are carried in this revolution. So I will never respect, you know, people like that, who, you know, get to a point where people are like are thinking and looking up to them, thinking that, you know, they are leading them the right way, and then at one point they put the people to questioning, you know, to questioning them. So I don't really think that is a sign of maturity, you know, especially at this phase of the revolution.
You're very right. Yeah, everybody is confirming. And however, some people have said here that there's no way you can have everybody on board. But then, like you rightly said, which is equally my opinion, Minister Silva, all of us sitting out here and showing our faces out here, people at home call us leaders. So be careful whatever you put out there. Be careful whatever thing you say out there, because you get them so confused and they are so sick. I feel so bad. And you know, one thing I am praying is that we should start campaigning and remind people we need a lot of counselors, both spiritual and psychological and so on. We need counselors when we go back home. I think I will be one of the people who need some counseling, because not because I've witnessed it at home, but because I share it and I feel it as if I'm live back home. You know, so we who are out here, just that you sit on Facebook and make a 2-minute video, people back home they look up to you as a leader. So let us be careful what we do before you take a decision. Sisiko had said this, and that's why at the time I just said that Sisiko had done his share of this revolution, and wherever he is now, he is actually just, in my opinion, resting. He said a lot of things that will follow us through this revolution. One of the things he said, his quote was, when you write something that you want to post on social media, read it, have a real look at it. If you think that it is going to cause damage, do not post it. So let's learn to remember what our leaders have been saying.
Can I add something to that?
Okay.
If I can add something to that, I would say that's not an issue. Just like how you read it from the comment box, the comment sections, it says that some people wrote there, they said, not everybody must be in unity. I told my fellow youths in Watana Wata movement, I told them that if we have to have 100% unity or collaboration in this revolution before we get victory, then they should be ready that the last 1% will be that of La Republique to destroy the 99.
That's right.
If we have to have 100%, as some Ambazonians, Southern Cameroonians who want, before we win, we should rest in mind that the last 1% will be La Republique. Now, forget the letter from the scope or whatever. For me, it's very good, because if the scope did not give that letter, we, the youths of Watana Wata movement, will force them to do that. Because as of now, we are not clear of what transpired in Naira 10. Let's be frank. When we are dealing with this revolution, we should not put emotions. For me, those ones which we have now collaborating, are very okay. We will push them to the level which they have to give Ambazonian victory. The Boherbets, the President Sako and the rest, those collaborating, putting Ambazonian first. That's what we need, Ambazonian first, because we are in diaspora. But for people like the ones which you just called, I don't want to call people's name over national TV. If it was on my platform, I'll call the name. For people, that person who said he doesn't want to be part of that collaboration, what I will say is, it's a very good thing he did it, because
that's right.
What happened in Naira, we don't know it, and the enemy that did that thing in Naira is still here, because we have Nalobabi in Germany, she was part of it. We have Milan Atem, who was part of it, but as of now, we don't know the story, what transpired, and how our leaders found themselves in Kondingi, which almost destroyed this revolution. Now we are getting to a point whereby we are about succeeding again. We have the collaboration coming in, and then you find out that at this point, some of these people are coming in, and then suddenly they are taking themselves out again to cause distraction again. No. We have to be a people, we have to set rules. We have to be a people of morals. We should not be too emotional that we must all gather, because when we get that emotionality to that point where everybody must come, that is when the enemy will prepare his own and say, since the one unity, okay, you'll be our own part of unity, but you are serving us. So go and mingle with them and get them to our own side. And that's how we'll never go in front. So please, fellow Ambazonians, we like collaboration, we want unity, but to my own part as Prince J. Carr, till the day we get the truth of what happened in Naira 10 and what led to our president being in jail and forming another government to destabilize the revolution at the point which we had to spring on international light for them to see our plight, then we should be very careful with all those who are part of Naira who are still free, because they know the compromise.
That's very correct.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, my prince. So, fellow Ambazonians, I really do appreciate your patience. Thank you for all the comments, because everything you write here, it really counts, it matters. We cannot spend, we don't have all the time on earth to sit here and talk. I appreciate every comment you dropped here, because it adds to whatever thing we are saying here. So, thank you so much for your patience, and we keep sharing. We are going to do a rebroadcast of some of these things. We do rebroadcast all the time. And we are looking forward to start rounding up. So that said, I would like to give you, let me see, there's this, I don't want to keep people waiting this much. I'll give you a few 30 seconds, Minister Silva, and 30 to my prince. We cannot leave this platform without talking. Let this be free. No, this is important. Because we need the AKs, we need to move on, we still need to do a lot of stuff. And the truth, let us call every word by its name. The truth about everything, whatever thing we are doing here, the foundation, the only thing we need is money. If we don't have money, we cannot buy AK, we cannot do diplomacy, we cannot feed our refugees. So how would you encourage fellow young people? What do you even say on your youth? You appear to have a youth platform. You have a lot of platforms here, and you have been, my prince, you in particular have been talking a lot about your platform, your young people's platform. What do you discuss? I know I'm a member of Watana Wata. What do you discuss, and how do you encourage yourselves to contribute to their various local government areas? Because let's remember that we have been empowered at the level of local government areas to fund our revolution, to fund our voice, in order to avoid any confusion, in order to avoid people blaming others that, oh, money went up, money went down. How do you encourage one another on your youth forum on the idea of funding the revolution through the LGA? My prince.
Is it me? Okay.
Yes, please.
We as youths, we don't distract our youth from their LGAs and their local government or counties. No, If you are a youth, you belong there, you pay your dues to the local government, you contribute to the cid.ambazoniancitizens.com, that's cool. But we Ambazonian youth, we have a project, we have a goal. And that goal is making sure that we put our brothers the right equipment in their hand. That right equipment, this is what we talk about pidgin. That right equipment, now say, now we go create them for ground day because people the way they know this talk what they talk. If we want to go buy them for ground one, or not go get them for ground one because black market they go by chop way. So we use them with the gather now, we get the money, we produce labor, we help to produce popcorn,
my prince,
plenty.
My prince, Prince. Point of order, I don't know. So you youth, when they work hard, when they mobilize for raise funds for see how when fit fund the boys, how when fit support our boys for get sugarcane. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
My Minister Silva, do you have a word to round up? How in your own way are you encouraging the LGAs? And if you have a last word of advice to our boys, our restoration forces on ground zero, it will be much appreciated.
Okay, thank you very much,
please.
Comfort. Yeah, like Prince rightly said, this part I go talk and to for pidgin because I really want to make it reach for we people for ground zero in clear terms. Me, for example, I don't do a lot for try for raise money, you know, through different forums them where we create them. And I be discovered so we get a lot of restoration forces then for some areas where you know they be like almost neglected. So I be one of the things where I get like a mission. I say I be delegate, you know, one of our restoration forces where we go into some of this area, especially like around Donga Mantum area, for you know figure out some of these restoration forces. And so when they be go, they be bring back the report. So what we'll do, and I say we'll raise money for inside our forum them, and then we'll send them for a mission where I believe say the mission still be ongoing. And then we create another group as well, you know what they call them top 50. That group now for Ambazonian, the way they be ready for sacrifice at all times, you know, for this revolution, financially sacrifice money. We need to talk to people where they just come out talk, you know, they just be for social media and for criticize. So if you've been a man where you're on just for talk, you know, if you be for that group, we'll create them. So that group, we'll call them top 50. And we don't do a lot of monthly contributions. And what we'll be doing, I say, when we contribute for that group, with the delegate them, you know, for because we say now top 50, each person to contribute 20,000, where it will come out for 1 million. So that 1 million we will divide them for 2 counties, you know, every month. So 500,000 will go for 1 county, 500,000 will go for another. And I really be happy because people the way they inside the group, they really be responsible and they contribute. So because we don't get much time, I just want to encourage we boys them for ground, say me them stay strong. You know, they be start with then guns them and La Republic never be able to put their backs for ground. And so me they no give up because we do everything for CC, you know, we put the right sticks and granite them where they need them, you know, for continue for push this revolution forward. So me then stand strong and we will continue for sacrifice. All we just need in our cooperation, me then be in unity, you know, all we do for one goal. That small fighting way, you know, within the year, me life will see among the CC they resolve the differences, stand like one person for fight the common enemy. When I believe, we believe say on a good footing, and together, not long we will meet for Boya. We will celebrate together.
Okay, thank you very much, Jeka. I'm sure you have concluded. Or do you still have a word maybe to our restoration forces? That will just be 20 seconds. And then we'll round up so that we let our fellow comrades go.
Well,
my Prince, do you have a word for our boys or for our restoration forces? A word of encouragement.
I want to say it was a nice for the restoration forces, my brothers. We have reached the final end, which is not too far again, because now they are talking of dialogue. Tomorrow it will negotiations. So all you all is to be resilient, to be strong and steadfast. Keep your heads high and remember the days when we buried the dead.